It was reported today that 2019's first-round pick of the New England Patriots, N'Keal Harry, is requesting a trade out of New England. Harry was the 32nd overall pick in 2019's draft, and in his first 2 years in the league, he's gotten off to a slow start. Now, just because a wide receiver has gotten off to a slow start in his career does not mean he's a bust just yet. We saw Demaryius Thomas take a couple years before making a name for himself. We saw Devontae Parker take 4 or 5 years before making a name for himself, and even Brashad Perriman had a mini breakout in year number 4. And for Harry, it's not just what he's done on the field, but the injuries have been a problem so far. In his rookie year, he missed his first 9 games with an ankle injury, and then last year in 2020, he had a head injury, missing 2 games as well. Now, as for his play on the field, he's played in 21 regular season games. He's had 81 targets, only 45 receptions, and 414 yards, along with 4 touchdowns in 2 years, which obviously is not that good. Now, one of those years, his rookie year, was playing with Tom Brady, and as we know, sometimes it takes Brady a while to trust his young receivers, and year 2 for him was Cam Newton coming off an injury, learning a new offense very quickly, and Cam Newton was not the best pocket passer last year, to put it nicely. Now, the NFL Network's Mike Garfolo got some interesting quotes from N'Keal Harry's agent, and we'll read through some of them real quick. So his agent, Jamal Tucson, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, he went on to say, "For the past several months, I've been working in cooperation with the Patriots behind the scenes to put a plan in place to allow N'Keal to thrive in New England. Through 2 seasons, he has 86 targets, which obviously hasn't met the expectations the Patriots and N'Keal had when they drafted a dominant downfield threat who was virtually unstoppable at the point of attack in college. Following numerous conversations with the Patriots, I believe it's time for a fresh start, and best for both parties if N'Keal moves on before the start of training camp. That is why I have informed the Patriots today that I am formally requesting a trade on behalf of my client. N'Keal understands a key ingredient to production is opportunity. He will continue to work hard to develop and refine his craft after missing a large portion of his rookie year due to injury. His drafted expectations for his NFL career have not changed. We are confident success is just around the corner for him and will aggressively pursue it." So based on these quotes, it seems like N'Keal's agent has not lost any confidence that N'Keal will one day be a great NFL receiver, and I'm sure N'Keal Harry feels the same way. And I don't think N'Keal Harry hates the Patriots organization. The guy just wants a better opportunity. Yes, he needs to play better, but 81 targets in 21 games is not that good. It's below 4 targets per game. And unless you've completely tuned out the offseason, we know how much the Patriots have tried to improve their receiving core. They did lose Julian Edelman to retirement, but they brought in guys like Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, even Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith at tight end. There's really no reason to believe his targets will go up much, if at all, in 2021 if he remains a Patriot. So I do get where he's coming from, and there's probably a better opportunity elsewhere. It just depends what teams will offer for him and if the Patriots even want to trade him. Because if you think about it, there's no way the Patriots get a return on their investment here. This guy was a 32nd overall pick, a first-round pick with a 5th-year option. Now, I can't predict the future, but selling him now might be selling him at the lowest value of his career. Or on the flip side, trading N'Keal Harry now might be a good idea because maybe the guy does not have a good NFL career ahead of him, and this would be his highest value right now while there's still teams out there that believe in his talent. But if the Patriots did trade him, I don't see them getting more than a compensatory 3rd-round pick or even a 4th-round pick. If they got more than that, I would be surprised. Maybe they could get a similar player struggling on a rookie contract in return, but I don't know who that player would even be. So it all depends what kind of market's out there for him and how bad these teams really want N'Keal Harry in the first place. And as for N'Keal Harry's contract situation, it's pretty team-friendly. In 2021, he's slated to have a $2.7 million cap hit, which is not that much, and then in 2022, next year, it's a $3.2 million cap hit, which is definitely manageable. And then if he plays well in those 2 years and the team wants to exercise that 5th-year option, they can do that, which would pay him more money, but it would give them another year of team control for a 3rd year of N'Keal Harry. So basically, a team can get him for 2 years on a small cap hit and then a possible 3rd year if he plays well, and the cap hit would not be that large, honestly. And the good thing about a 5th-year option for a first-round pick is if he doesn't play well in that 5th year, you're not obligated to pay him beyond that year. You can let him walk in free agency. So before we wrap this thing up, let's go over 3 possible destinations that I have in mind, and at the end of the video, I'll make a prediction because who doesn't like predictions? So I'll try to predict which team will actually trade for him, although it will probably be wrong. So first we have the Detroit Lions, who are obviously a rebuilding team. They lost Kenny Galladay, they lost Marvin Jones, they lost Danny Amendola, and their top 2 wide receivers right now are the aforementioned Brashad Perriman, who is okay but should not be a wide receiver 1, and then Tyrell Williams, who missed the entire 2020 season due to injury, and he's an okay wide receiver number 2. So if the Lions, who are a young team, see some potential in Harry, they can trade for him and use some of that draft capital and see if he grows with this team. Another possibility is the Atlanta Falcons. They lost Julio Jones, of course, in that trade with the Titans. They still have Calvin Ridley, but after that, there's not much. They have Russell Gage, who's pretty good, but more of a slot guy. Tajay Sharp, Zaccheaus, Cordero Patterson, those are the other guys behind them, so it's not like they have a lot of depth on that that team. And I could also see the New Orleans Saints, because the Saints right now, of course, have Michael Thomas as their wide receiver 1, but the problem they've had the past few years is not having a running mate for Michael Thomas. They tried Emmanuel Sanders last year, but he's now in his mid-30s, and he's on the Bills now, so that's no longer an option. Traquan Smith has some talent, but has never been consistent. Marquez Callaway is interesting, but once again is a young guy who's unproven. And honestly, a receiver like N'Keal Harry would go very nicely with a guy like Jameis Winston. N'Keal Harry likes to use his size and physicality to win these jump balls, and Jameis Winston has no problem giving his receivers a 50-50 ball. Now, I'm not saying that N'Keal Harry will turn into either one of these guys, but we saw the success that Jameis Winston had in Tampa when he had Mike Evans and Vincent Jackson, two guys that were bigger receivers and can win those jump balls. So if the Saints want to find a cheap way to get some upside next to Michael Thomas, then maybe this is the route they can go, and that will be my prediction. I say that N'Keal Harry will go to the New Orleans Saints for a 4th or 5th round pick plus a future 7th round pick. So that's my prediction. Leave in the comments, where do you think N'Keal Harry will go? What type of trade will it be? And do you expect N'Keal Harry to turn around his NFL career? Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like and subscribe for more NFL content, and I'll talk to you guys next time.